All right.
Yes.
The Tri-County Regional Planning Commission meeting to order. First up, if I can get a roll call.
Amanda Beatles. Here. Rita Ali. Patrick Urick.
Here.
Rick Powers.
Here.
Terry Hale.
Here.
John Call.
Here.
Carl Fig.
Here.
Matt Wigginton.
Here.
Mary Burris. Here. Lilia Stevens.
Here.
James Dillon.
Here.
Leon Ricka.
Here.
Nate Parrott.
Here.
Autumn Jones. Chuck Nagel. Camille Coates. Danny Phelan.
Here.
Russ Crawford. Greg Minold. Don Knox. Karen Dvorsky.
All right. First up, if I get a motion to approve the meeting minutes from February 4th, 2026. Hours, the motion.
I'll second.
John Paul, the second. Are there any corrections or changes needed to the minutes? Seeing none, please vote.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. I have no chairman report this month. Next up is the executive director's report.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Chairman. First off, want to report some not so happy news. Debbie LaRue has taken a job at the city of Peoria, so she's going to be moving across the street. We were very sorry to lose her, but we congratulate the city on a fine hire, and glad to see her stay in the area. So there'll be some staffing changes on projects, and we'll sort of let you know how that shakes out. Sort of in internal discussions here about how those will be reassigned. But we are sorry to see that go. In your packet, I've listed a couple of handouts with beyond my report. I'm going to call your attention to a letter from Rick Harnish, High Speed Rail Alliance. This is with respect to bill in the State House and Senate, HB 4279 and SB 3285, the Passenger Rail Planning Act. This came up at our last rail planning meeting, and basically, as also, and the Speaker of the House staff asked us for support or see where we stood on this bill. And I said, well, we haven't taken any action. I encourage you to review the bill and see if it's appropriate for the commission to take action. And we'll bring either a letter of support or a resolution of support at the next meeting if you so desire. We'll talk about it at the executive committee, but I wanted you all to be aware of it. And it basically revolves around the frequency of service. Illinois is deciding or trying to establish consistent and frequent rail service within the state boundaries. And this bill would require certain aspects of that. The Peoria line is specifically mentioned in it. Obviously, we do not have a Peoria line yet, so it would certainly involve the state a lot more than they are currently with our service or proposed service. So please take a look at that and let me know how you feel about it and whether you'd like to take support on it. Patrick, anything else on this?
No, I think you nailed it.
Thanks, thank you. Second thing is, and I'm sure you're all aware of this, we've been notified by Congressman LaHood and Congressman Sorensen's office that the community project funding, designated funding is out. We've been doing a number of letters of support for you all, and we are glad to do that. These grants are due Friday, March 6th, which is just a couple days. We can turn around a letter of support really quick if you so desire. So please reach out to us for that. And that's it. The rest of it's on the agenda, and we'll cover that at that time. Any questions?
Seeing none, if I could get a motion to put approve the January 2026 financial statement billings. Motion by Paul, second by Urick. Rebecca?
Alrighty. You will find your financial reports in the packet after the resolution 2639. And the first page is a summary of the financials for January. And The second page is a summary of the joint funding account. And the third page is your balance sheet. And operating cash at the end of January was approximately 881,000, and operating cash decreased by 206,000 in January compared to December. Page 4 is an accounts receivable summary report. And the balance of accounts receivable at the end of the month was 430,000. And of that, 286,000 was federal funds, 43,000 was state funds, and 100,000 was local funds. Page 5 is an accounts payable summary report. The balance of accounts payable at the end of the month was 139,000, and of that, 136,000 was unpaid pass-throughs as of the end of January. The remaining 3,000 was unpaid regular bills at the end of January. Page 6 is your statement of cash flows and explains the changes in all the accounts a little bit better, or not a little better, but a little more detailed, a little more confusing. But page 7 is the income statement, and January had 21 regular working days, 1 paid holiday, and 93.5 hours of PTO were used by staff. Revenue in January was 172,000, expenses 146,000. So January ended with a surplus of approximately 26,000. So far this fiscal year, we've used 67,000 of local funds for local matching on grants. Fiscal year 2026 so far has a surplus of 168,000 as of the end of January. And there are also registers and statements for our checking and credit cards. Are there any questions? Please let me know.
Any questions for Rebecca? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes. Next up, if I get a motion to approve the creation of an ad hoc committee for review of the employee handbook. Crawford with the motion and Coates with the second. All right, we've had some discussion on creating a committee to review the employee handbook. This was a sort of a staff-driven request, and after we saw the need for it. We've got a few dated policies, so should be pretty straightforward. Did we set a timeline on it, Eric, for how long we might expect to do that?
Yeah, I think we'd like it done within 6 months. It's going to be a pretty quick turnaround. But again, we don't know what the committee
Yeah.
is going to get into.
Yeah, it's, I guess, as much as we dive into it. And I think it should be, again, pretty straightforward. Are there any questions about that committee? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, next up, if I could get a motion to approve a planner attendance at the APA National Conference Resolution 2643. Mel with the motion and Parrott with the second. I think this is Eric's.
Yeah, so we typically try to send 1 or 2 planners to the National APA Conference. This year, it's in Detroit, Michigan. Gavin Hunt has expressed an interest to go. We need approval by this board to send for any out-of-state travel. That's why we bring it to you. It is a budgeted expense. I would recommend it.
Questions? I know one question I clarified with you, and if you don't mind clarifying for the room, Eric, was about what expenses the employee might incur prior to us making any payment.
Because we are requesting Gavin to be there, mutually accepted, it's mutual. We will, he has the option, we will prepay his expenses. He can request a travel advance for meals and incidentals. Otherwise, he can get him on his credit card and reimburse him for the usual reimbursement policy.
Any questions? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes. Next up, if I could get a motion for the FOIA request. Motion by Crawford,
Just discussion.
You're right.
Just discussion. That's right. Commission, a couple weeks ago, received a, sort of a non-commercial FOIA request. We get typically 2 or 3 FOIA requests per year, usually on the commercial nature, wanting to know the scoring criteria for procurement and bids and proposal and things like that. This was, I considered it sort of an outlier sort of request. We did comply with the request. And it was not a huge expense for commission to comply with the request. I just wanted you to be aware that this requests are going around, and they're focusing on public agencies and their agreements with attorneys and law firms. So you may receive a similar request, but I want you to be aware that we've received it and we have complied with it.
Patrick has something with that.
Just to let you know, the IML Managers Committee meeting we had last week, we had a lengthy discussion about this requester.
Yeah.
Because they're peppering communities across the state with FOIA requests, and there's some question among some of the managers in the state whether or not this is just an attempt that if you don't comply, to then ring you up and get you on fines and fees for not complying. So this is a business model of trying to get out there and make you miss the deadline for not submitting the information and then having to pay to settle a case before they take it up court. So it's really, it's a mess.
Yeah, we just discussed this at the Mayor's Association meeting,
Same
group.
Yeah.
It's an attorney out of St. Louis area that started this.
Yeah.
4 or 5. We've got 3 this week already.
Yeah, we've got numerous ones this week. So, I mean, I think the General Assembly is going to have to do something to address this because this is really kind of twisting what's the intent of FOIA. I mean, this is turning into a business to try and raise money.
I would add too, I talked with Linda Daly yesterday and she said that it is on their radar and that they have a draft bill to address this. So hopefully there's something soon.
Okay.
Russ, do you have something you wanted to add?
Yeah, I just attended a FOIA 2026 legal update within the last 2 or 3 days with all the counties in the state in Springfield. And they clearly said that's already in the law, that this guy is, I'm sorry, not this guy, but this kind of activity is prohibited. And it's basically harassment. And the PAC officer in the Attorney General's office ought to be notified of this person because they need to have a response by the state.
Next up, if I get a motion to retain the, actually, first off, has everyone seen the minutes that have been passed around? They're right over there.
So,
Everyone has had a chance to look at them. Is there anyone that hasn't had a chance? All right. Camille's looking at those. If I get a motion to retain as confidential or release the following executive session minutes from February 2020, February 26, 2015 and March 26, 2015. Motion by Crawford and second by Dylan. Okay. Eric clarified the small point of order is whether we're going to retain or release, and this recommendation is to retain them. Are there any questions or comments?
Just a quick comment for those of you who haven't been on here for ever. About 93, long time ago, we had to release a executive director because of illegal activity. And so some of the things that are still in there that I'm continuing to try to maintain private are documents relating to that. Thanks. Ordinarily, I'm a big transparent guy, but not in those cases. Thank you.
Any other comments? All right, again, the recommendation is to retain them, so we would be voting to retain minutes. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes. Next, If I could get a motion to approve the Transportation Improvement Program amendments, resolution 2640. Motion by Call and second by Coates. And I believe this is Mike Bruner.
Yes. Okay. So we have three tip amendments for you today. The first one here is project PC 24 03. This is for phase one preliminary engineering for Radnor Road from Alta Lane to Willow Knolls Road. And then also from Willow Knolls Road from 0.1 miles east of Radnor Road to the railroad bridge west of Radnor Road. This project is being moved to the FY26 program, and there was some additional federal funding from the STBG rural pot that is being added to this project. The second project here is project S-26-23 highway. This is for high mast light tower foundation replacement. It is a new project being added to the FY26 program, and it is estimated that the current letting date will be June of this year. And then last but not least, project C-27-01. This is for engineering right-of-way and construction of a shared use path along Sycamore Street from 1,300 feet west of Bradley Avenue to Benedict Street. This is a new project being added to the FY27 program. And the anticipated letting date for this is March of 2027. With that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions from Mike? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. On to updates. First up is the federal MPO certification review. Eric, that is you.
Yeah, we have a couple items.
Sorry, you don't, oh geez.
E and C.
You guys know I'm new.
You got a meeting later?
Trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, I get a motion to approve the fiscal year 2027 Unified Planning Work Program. Parrot with the motion and Ghost with the second. All right, Michael, sorry to skip you.
Oh, no, you're fine. Okay, so included on your agenda packet here is the link to the draft UPWP. As a MPO, Tri-County is required to develop and maintain a Unified Planning and Work Program, or UPWP. This is one of our core federal MPO documents that we update on an annual basis. It serves as basically our work plan for the MPO, and it kind of directs our day-to-day planning activities as we go through our fiscal year, which is July 1 through June 30th. So the commissions for FY27, our allotment, this is the last year of the federal provision allotment. So that's the additional federal funding that IDOT is giving to all MPOs throughout the state to help spend down some of their kind of pot of money. So this is the last year. But so our federal formula amount is $857,800, and then the federal provision amount is $134,500, which so our total federal funding will be $992,300. This would require a non-federal match of $248,000 for a total MPO budget of $1,240,400. The commission has notified IDOT and requested once again that state planning funds be used for our non-federal match. And so the funding that we received from you all, the joint funding agreement, which we'll talk about at the next agenda item, will be used for once again, for any kind of like grants, matching requirements that we need, that would all go through you for your approval before we, appropriate that funding for matching or whatever it might be. But with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you all might have.
Michael, just in the text document, then it said 992, 315, but then in the chart, it says 9565. Can you just tell me how that's different?
The text document.
If you go to the spreadsheet, the sum total is 9,565.
Oh, sure, yes, I would be happy to explain the difference. So one of the ways that we identify the local, each of your all's contribution for the local match is we take your all's previous motor fuel tax and then sum that up. And then we divide it by your population. And so that kind of, that 9,565,191 is just the total MFT allotment that all of our MPO members received last year. And then we get your percentage, and then, or I'm sorry, we take that 9 million and then divide your allotment to get your percentage, to get your contribution of the 248,000. If that makes sense to you.
But then in the text on the page right before it, it's not.
Yeah, so this number, the
Oh.
992 is the total federal funds that would be
I
received.
got it. Okay, thank you. That. I was misunderstanding something there.
Yeah, they are really close numbers in terms of, the nines, yeah.
All right, any questions for Michael?
Yeah.
Sure.
Michael, can you share that breakdown of the 992,300 again?
Yeah, so our federal formula, that we get this year is, 857,800. And then our federal provisional amount is, 134,500.
Thank you.
That's rounding, of course.
Michael, so the Greater Peoria Mass Transit District put out a little bit, $3,800. I know we do a lot of good work for them. How did we arrive at the $3,800 one?
I will.
Yeah, that's been just an historical sort of marker for them for their contribution. They don't receive MFT dollars. Basically, when we did our merger, it's just a number that we came up with that was consistent with past numbers that had been used. And we just have went with it since.
So that number has been concrete since the merger.
Yes. For 4 years.
Russ?
Sorry, keep going. And that's a policy decision, so if you feel strongly about it, you can raise it as an issue, but at the time of the merger committee, the representative of the merger committee all sort of felt that it would be unfair to hit them with a percent rather than a fixed.
Oh, and I just think they're getting a really good return on their investment.
Yeah, right, I agree. And they do a great job.
Any other comments? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right, next up, if I could get a motion to approve the fiscal year 2027 joint funding agreement. Mennel with the motion and Yurick with a second. It's Michael again, I believe.
Yes, so included in your packet is the joint funding agreement, and then with the chart that we just discussed earlier. So our FY 27 local contributions are very similar to our current FY 26 agreement. So after you all approve this agreement, staff will send out a request for signatures for all the agencies to our technical committee. We'll send them to them. They go through the process to get the necessary approvals for you all to sign them. And then we will be sending out invoices for the joint funding agreement in the July, August, September timeline. But I'd be happy to answer any questions you all might have.
Any questions for Mike? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? All right. Now, finally, back to the federal NPO certification. And Eric, this is your.
Yes, next 3 pages in your packet are concerning our federal certification review, which is scheduled for Tuesday, March 10th. In the morning, you have on the 3rd page, there is an agenda. This would be a very quick review compared to previous times, which lasted up to 2 or 3 days. The federal, the FDA, FHWA have been doing a desk review currently, and this will be this meeting will be the culmination of that review. There is a opportunity for public comment. It's posted on our website and posted on our door, and there's a link included in the packet that will take you to the comment page. If you'd like to forward it on to your board or your citizens, please feel free to do so. There is an opportunity within the meeting itself. There is an opportunity for board members to have comment on this if you'd like to attend, or submit your comments in writing to us and we will express them for you. That time is at between 9:30 and 10 on Tuesday morning. That meeting will take place in this room here. And we should have a wrap up very soon after the meeting takes place. And we'll have all those comments back to you that the folks have for us. Be glad to answer any questions.
Seeing none, up next, we've got the combined call for project selection criteria. Is that Michael?
Yes. Okay, so just to keep you all updated on this process. So we discussed this a little bit at your last month meeting, but just to kind of bring you back up to speed here. In preparation for the spring 2026 call for projects, the technical committee directed staff to review the existing selection criteria and just remove the redundancies and structural inconsistencies that we kind of discovered during our FY24 combined call for projects. And so the committee directed staff to basically preserve the original intent while removing the redundancy and structural inconsistencies, ensured that it's consistent with our current MPO policy planning documents. So that's our LRTP, our safety action plan, all those types of documents that we maintain and align with the federal performance-based planning requirements. We improve cross-program comparability, and then we also reduce administrative complexity, which was one of the main purposes for the combined call for projects. So staff subsequently presented a consolidated singular project selection criteria framework to the technical committee late last month at their February 18th meeting. The proposed framework maintained the program's integrity while establishing a consistent 100-point scoring system applicable across all projects. The scoring points were all 100 points previously, other than section 5310, which was a little bit less than 100 points. During the process, the committee expressed some general support for the unified framework and offered some great constructive criticism. They basically, the biggest one, which was a great call out, was for the environmental sustainability section. They just wanted to ensure that pavement preservation had, a good chance to receive scoring there and not unintentionally be disadvantaged. And then they also wanted us to just kind of test this framework by using the previous FY24 call for project applications as kind of a test subject to see how similar everything scores. So in response to the technical committee feedback, staff looked at the environmental sustainability section and ended up deciding to take basically looked at IDOT's LRTP, which has a whole stewardship section. And we decided to kind of combine stewardship into the environmental sustainability section. So in renaming it to environmental sustainability and stewardship, and adding stewardship kind of reinforce that pavement preservation concept by, clarifying environmental benefits of life cycle preservation and infrastructure durability. So staff feels like we've solved that issue. And then we are in the process of conducting a retroactive scoring analysis to kind of basically validate our existing updated structure, identify any additional unintended structural biases. And then we're going to report back to the technical committee at their March meeting. And then if everything goes well, we will present it to you all for your final review and approval. But with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Russ? Mike, I think you answered the question. That was quite a mouthful. It's very detailed, which I appreciate most of the time. So my question is, does the commission allow the technical committee to make modifications to those criteria? And it sounds like you described that we did. I didn't know whether there's a policy on that or not.
So, no, it's the commission would be the one that makes the changes.
Yeah, but all this back and forth between the technical committee and the staff happened prior to it coming to the commission. Am I right?
Yes, so we've started talking with technical about it. And we've made a few adjustments to look at and consider, and then it would ultimately go to you all to review and decide if you want to make those changes.
Okay, very good. So you don't tell technical, okay, when they push back on a couple items like they did, like environmental, they're not under the understanding that those are definitely adopted. But they realize that the commission may agree or disagree.
Correct, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. I mean, that's a real important area because all the people on that technical committee, and some of you have been there or maybe are there, but they do a very good job and they're very detailed in their knowledge of our procedures. And so it's never a good idea to ignore what they say, but it is technically your job to thumbs up or thumbs down or change.
And could ignore what they said. I mean, they're mainly an advisory committee that makes recommendations to the commission of the policy. That's ultimately yours.
I would just add that we're proceeding with a little bit of caution here because of some historical things that have gone on with this particular subject. It's important that we get it right. And if we go through a process and get it wrong or have some unintended consequences, it's a real problem. So that's why we encourage you to all take a look at this, discuss this with your technical member, and getting comments back to staff. The validation exercise that we'll go through will be very important to sort of ensuring that we're consistent with the expectations here. We're not trying to change anything. We're trying to make it more efficient.
Yep.
So you never know.
Can I ask a stupid question? These call for projects, do these happen every year, every other year?
So for our combined call for project is every other year.
Okay. And it was last year?
No, FY 24.
Okay. So the next one is,
Gonna be this year.
isn't there like a really short turnaround too? Like when the entity is notified to when it's due?
We typically do a 45 to 60 day turnaround.
Good to know.
But we're already talking about
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
the technical members are well aware of it, and I would encourage you to start thinking about it, now.
What we've done, our engineers always kept the loop And let us know that we need to pre-plan for that.
Yeah.
That's out there.
It'd never be a surprise to you.
No.
Any other comments? All right, seeing none, Doug, do you have anything for us today? And there's nobody from Federal Highway, is that right? Next meeting is scheduled for April 1st at 9 a.m. Lori, did you want to talk about the OMA?
Yeah, I'll be sending out reminders today, for a few of you folks that haven't turned in your OMA certificate yet. And I also want to mention, you should have received your statement of economic interest.
Peoria County.
For Peoria County. So make sure you get that done too. I know that some of you have already done them,
And Lori, economics every year, but OMA is one time. Okay.
once ever,
Okay.
yes.
Unless you do the paperwork and.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Sounds
With some experience of it?
Yeah, maybe. All right, anything else? Good job, Danny. Can I get a motion to adjourn? So moved, Mayor Wiggington and very good, second by Paul. Yeah, right. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Yeah. We are adjourned.